pull up a chair. This is Off the Back Porch. Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer is brought to you in part by Country Village Sporting Goods. Everything you need to get in the woods, the water, or to the camp is at Country Village Sporting Goods. Jason Hardy State Farm. Like a good neighbor, Jason Hardy at State Farm is there. And Larry's Pizza in El Dorado, home of the Double Pizza Parade.
20 plus years of bringing you the most important and latest information with local happenings, news, sports, opinions, and probably an attempt at humor. Also brought to you in part by Davis Farms Country Market. For farm to table fresh, it's Davis Farms Country Market. Cook's Body Shop. Chances are it will happen. And when it does, look to Cook's. Murphy Arts District. For the latest information on concerts and events, go to eldomad.com.
Recorded live from Main Street Pizza in historic, beautiful downtown El Dorado, Arkansas. With a history of being the voices you trust. This is Off the Back Porch with Boomer and Sandy. Or Sandy and Boomer. Or two old guys you've known for a long time, whatever. And now your hosts, Troy, Boomer, Barrios, and B.A. Sandy Sanford.
Hey, and welcome for another edition of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. Boomer, did you bring that money you owe me this week?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
I'll hand it to you here a little later.
Okay, I won't forget.
Okay. I was hoping maybe you would.
And we're so glad to have you with us here this week. And you know what? We are here at our favorite place, Boomer, and that is Main Street Pizza.
Main Street Pizza, where the locals come to eat.
The locals come to eat, that's right.
And the belocals.
And the belocals,
Yeah.
both, yes. Although we don't want a whole lot of belocals in here at the same time.
Yeah, because they eat up our pizzas when we're not looking.
Yeah. Walk off with them and then not pay for their own stuff.
Oh, heavens. Hey, crazy, just you and I get together in the same spot.
Every single
in the
time.
geographic location, and crazy's going to happen.
You know, I shared some reader questions and comments a couple weeks ago. Well, I got a comment or a message, if you would, on Facebook Messenger the other day. It said, "I noticed you read all those, but you didn't read some of the stuff that I've sent."
Okay.
And I was like,
"So you got it now?"
We get hate mail too, Boomer.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. So I picked out the best ones.
Are you serious?
Yes. Oh, I'm dead serious.
Well, why are they?
I have an idea of who some of these are from, but
why are they watching then? If
that's my whole thing. Thank you for letting us live rent free in your head.
Yeah.
So
okay, I'm ready to hear this.
This was an email. Subject: retirement home radio. Sandy and Boomer, just wondering, when's the last time either of you to actually listen to a new song? Or are you still spinning Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash in your heads? At this point, your Spotify rap must look like a nursing home jukebox. You know,
you can't go wrong with Merle Haggard.
Well, I was going to say, I mean,
or Willie,
or any
Waylon,
yeah,
and the boys.
And so, to answer the question, I can't tell you. I mean, I like the Red Clay Strays. They got that song. She's Sunday school, golden rule, every Sunday, never misses church. I'm blue collar, low dollar.
Yeah.
Out here we're asphalt
in
meets
the dirt,
red dirt, something like that. Yeah. And so that, but I think that's probably a couple years old. Yeah. Well, I like some Jelly Roll.
I like Jelly Roll. I mean, and I'm not going to watch the VMAs or anything like that.
Oh, no, I don't. I can't because I don't care.
Yeah. Well, they said that Tate girl, got up there and gyrated. The black stuff you put in the artificial turf at the football stadium?
Yeah.
That's what they were jumping around in. She was kicking it around and didn't have many clothes on. And
you and I we've been on fields where that stuff, and it invades you.
It sticks on you and gets everywhere.
Whether you you ever exposed that body part to it or not.
It's just like sand. You go to the beach, you're going to have some sand in you from under.
Mm-hmm. You're from under. Yeah. Which is different from you down under, but it's close.
It's close. It's right in the same vicinity. Yeah, and so, I want to tell you, all those award shows have become just instruments of the devil, because that's all I can say.
Well, look, here's
and they try to outdo the last one to see how
outrageous they can make it.
They can be. Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, when we were on the air every morning doing a topical morning radio show, I would watch those things just so
Yeah.
I could
So
have
we
a
could comment.
semblance of some sense of, hey, did you see what Toby Keith said last night? Did you watch Kenny Chesney giggle like a little girl? Did you I mean, all those things.
My cat and sweater.
Oh God, Keith Urban, but
That's what I'll. Okay.
but I don't have to do that anymore.
No, I choose not to.
And I didn't really care for doing it then,
Yeah.
but I did it.
To remain topical and
Show prep.
Show prep. That's what we did, and we do the sports, and I'm not interested in every sport.
No.
But we did sports, and we wanted to be local and current with what we did on the morning show. But when you do a podcast, hey, we don't care.
So, if you're worried about mine and Boomer's musical taste, I would just say quit watching if you don't really care. Let's see. This one says the subject was Dad Jokes Inc.
Okay.
Sandy and Boomer, you guys used to do a morning show, but let's be honest. You were basically two middle-aged dads arguing over who left the garage light on. The only thing morning fresh about you two was the Metamucil. Now,
Hey, I'm glad
I
I'm
could see that
middle-aged.
would be now.
I'm glad I'm middle-aged.
Yeah, I didn't expect to make it this far.
Well, I thought 33, like the song says, but talking about old references.
Yeah.
Anyway, but at 69, you're not middle-aged anymore.
No.
No, I'm adult. I'm a whole adult. If it's middle-aged, I'm fourth quarter aged.
Yeah, I got you. My thing, back then, you could have called us middle-aged. But now, like I said, we're kind of old.
Yeah, well, I'm older than you. I'm older to be your dad. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm 53. You're 69.
Yeah.
And such is life. Hey, here's the great thing. You had to click on this podcast to watch it. It didn't invade your car radio. It didn't come over your phone without.
It didn't show up on your algorithm enough.
Nothing. You had to choose to watch this. So if you don't like it, don't watch. It's that simple.
God, we got some more of those, I understand.
Yes, that's only 2 of the 6 that I chose.
Yeah.
Dynamic duo of mediocrity. Sandy and Boomer, Batman and Robin fought crime. Abbott and Costello made people laugh. You two, you just fought over who got the last donut in the studio. Truly inspiring.
I have a good idea who these are.
There is some truth to that one.
Yeah. You gonna eat that donut?
You gonna eat that donut? If you're not,
I'll take it. We'll get it to go box.
Yeah, I cut it in half. Here, let me eat half of it, and then you can have the other half.
That I fingered to have.
Let's see. Dear Sandy and Boomer, is it true the radio station fired you because the static on the AM dial had more personality than either of you? Or was it because your combined hairline scared away sponsors? Boomer, do you remember being fired from the radio station?
No, I didn't get fired.
Well, I didn't either.
I know.
And that was...
Maybe they're saying, maybe you got... That was the reason why we're not there is because we got fired. They just
don't know.
Yeah.
That Boomer chose to leave to go into full-time ministry.
I did.
And I chose to leave to go into full-time having a sanity. I remember having this conversation with an attorney here in town one day who was trying to talk me into running for mayor.
Yeah.
At the time. And I was like, man, I don't want to run for mayor. First of all, I don't want that job. And I said, secondly, I can't take the pay cut. He's like, well, it pays $70,000. I said, I know what it pays.
I don't know what it pays.
He's like, and a car. I said, I got a car.
I got a car.
And he's like, pfft.
Okay, then.
Well, I guess I didn't realize talking on the radio made that much money.
Talking on the radio don't.
And I told him, I said, you arrogant prick. I said, are you the only...
Wait a minute. He was, a lawyer. I thought you said a preacher, but a lawyer.
Well, I'd say the same to the preacher if he was stupid enough to say it to me, too. I was like, do you think you're the only person in town who makes 6 figures? I said, I run a multi-million-dollar media corporation. I have employees in 3 states. Talking on the radio, I do that for free. That's my fun part of my job.
It's fun, and I didn't make money doing that either. I mean, you make wage, but you're not making bank.
I didn't even make that.
That's true. That's true.
So I was like, that's the fun part of my job, dude.
Yeah.
I don't. That's not talking on the radio is very little of what I do.
Yeah. And so that's. That's the common misconception.
FCC compliance, because you got to remember radio stations are federally licensed. There's a lot of hoops. In case you didn't know this, there are a lot of hoops when you're federally licensed. And so, like the time we bought a radio station, Boomer, we bought a radio station, and I'm standing at the tower site with Bill Nolan and Edwin Alderson and the guy we bought the radio station from. And I look up there and I said, why isn't that tower lit? Why isn't there a light on top of that tower? He said, well, it's under 200 feet. I said, it's at the end of a runway. That's a runway right there. That's an airport runway. And he's like, well, it's under 200 feet. I said, it's at the end of a runway. It is in the descent path going to the runway. And he said, well, I called so-and-so attorney and told him about the tower, and he said it didn't have to be lit. I said, did you tell him it was at the foot of a runway?
Oh, my Lord.
So anyway, we notified the FAA right then. I'm standing in the field next to the tower. I called the FAA and notified them that the lights were out on that tower.
Say, do y'all know that there's a tower at the end of the runway? Who is this?
And so then we had to have the tower lit, which was like $30,000.
Yeah.
Because there were no lights. It's not like we just had to go change bulbs.
Oh,
they had to run the whole thing.
They had to run the whole thing up there. And the guy that did it, he was lit too, I'm sure. I've seen those guys.
Yeah, those guys. But
you got to be crazy to go climb that thing.
But then, we get all that done, and one day I'm in that little town where that station is, and this guy walks in and he said, I need to see a manager. Well, the guy who was general manager, Grant Merrill, said, oh, my regional manager's right here, and passed him off to me.
Oh, gosh.
And the guy said, I teach aviation at this particular place.
Airport. Yeah.
At this particular place. I teach aviation. Why did y'all like that tower? And I said, well, because it's at the foot of a runway. He's like, that's what I was afraid of. He said, legally, does it have? I said, yes, legally it has to be lit. He said, you realize it's never been lit before? I said, I know. But we didn't own it before. Those other people didn't have assets.
Yeah.
So if you hit it, you could share their bills, but they had no assets. We had assets, So anyway, he said, that is a question on my final exam in one of my aviations classes. Why isn't the tower for blah, blah, blah
not lit?
And he said, the correct answer has always been because it's
under 200
feet. He said, but one of this multiple choice answers is it should be. Mm-hmm. And he said, and I have students every year who miss that question because they marked that it should be. And he said, now I have to go back and see, did any of them fail my class because they failed that final? And that's the question, and by one question, and that's the question they missed. Thanks. I was like,
just change the answer from now on.
Yeah, but
back then it was right.
Or what you assumed was right.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And so anyway, I don't know whatever happened with that. I just, hey, it's not my fault that you didn't know the answer, Mr. Aviation Teacher. So anyway, but talking on the radio was a very, very small part of what I did every day. I mean, we were in a staff meeting one time, Boomer and Steve Harrell and I, and there were a bunch of us there. And one of our other radio stations' general managers called me, and he said, hey, I'm trying to get so-and-so to go in here in the studio and cut some promos. And he tells me that, being that he's the voice of the station, he shouldn't do promos, that he should be only used for paying clients. I'm in a staff meeting with my staff, and I'm like, I answered the phone for this dumb crap, right? I said, put him on the phone. And he gets on the phone. I said, listen, I'm in a staff meeting that I'm wrapping up right now. I'm going to be done in about 5 or 6 minutes, and which means 5 or 6 minutes from now, I'm going to get in my vehicle and I'm going to drive there. And if by the time I get there, you hadn't cut those promos, I'm going to fire your ass. You understand me? And I hung up. I finished up the staff meeting. I get up. I do not leave the table, but I stood up. And I get a
phone call.
I get a phone call. Said he's in the studio cutting those promos. I was like, good.
Didn't have to make the drive. It wasn't out in New Mexico. You wouldn't have said that.
No, it wasn't New Mexico. Anyway, let's see here. Other hate mail that we've gotten. Radio Legends ? That's what this one said.
Okay.
Sandy and Boomer, people still talk about your radio days, mostly in the same way they talk about VHS tapes. Wow, remember that? I can't believe we wasted so much time on it.
That's good stuff.
That's good.
That's good stuff.
Hey, that person, we want to hire them.
Yeah,
we want them to write jokes for
us.
Yes. Okay. This one hit me. This one kind of hurt a little bit.
All right.
The good old days is the subject line. Mm-hmm. Gentlemen, your glory days in radio remind me of high school football stories. Fun for you to tell, but painful for all the rest of us to listen to. At least the commercials y'all did were entertaining.
Wow.
That would hurt a little. I'm
These
just going
are
to be
our,
honest.
These are our friends that are doing
Yeah,
this.
obviously. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, these are people that I bet have eaten my food.
I could name 2 or 3 people that I would say that's them.
That's me too.
Yeah.
I could as well.
Hopefully it was done in fun.
I think so.
I think so too.
I think so.
Let's talk about them now. Because we know who they are.
I think I do. Yeah. Boomer, I thought this was hilarious. So Donna Banks Matthews, her sister Meredith Banks, and her youngest sister Tony Banks have all followed in the footsteps of their mom and dad. All 3 are educators. Their dad, Donald Banks, is the superintendent of Wells Point School District in Wells Point, Michigan. Their mom, Tanya Banks, is the superintendent of Free Falls School District in Free Falls, Michigan. The 3 teachers and /sisters decided they would ask their respective classes for life advice, and the results are hilarious.
The students were going to give them life advice.
Yes, they've asked their students. So you've got 3 sisters,
Yeah.
and evidently they teach about 3 different grade levels,
Okay.
and they're going to ask their students for life advice.
Life advice, yeah.
So never trust your dog to watch your food. That's from Patrick, age 10.
That's good. That's good advice.
When your dad is mad and asks you, do I look stupid? Don't answer him. That's Michael, age 14.
That is a rhetorical question.
Never tell your mom her diet is not working. Annabelle, age 9.
She's got it going on.
For the love of God, stay away from prunes, no matter how many you've seen Pawpaw eat. Maddox, age 7.
For the love of God.
Quick story about prunes. So,
All stories about prunes are quick.
yeah, the princess was still fairly new. She was about 8 months old, 9 months old. We were going to go out of town. That Friday before we go to the country club to eat. Again, she's 8 or 9 months old. She's not going to eat anything at the country club. And so I just grab a jar of baby food on our way out the door. I saw cherries.
Prunes.
It was cherries and prunes. Anyway, I feed it to her. No big deal. So I thought.
Right then it wasn't a big deal.
The next day after we were said out of town, in a hotel room, this child had explosions. I mean.
Oh, she was with y'all?
Yes.
I thought y'all had left and put them with the baby.
No, I wish we had.
Yeah.
Because what she did in that hotel room was violent. I mean, it was horrible. So.
You shouldn't be witnessed by people.
That's right. More life advice from these teachers, students. Never pee on an electric fence. Lewis,
That's a good idea.
age 10.
Yeah.
You know, there's only one way you learn not to do that.
Yeah. You know. When you do it, you know.
Yeah. When dad says pull my finger, don't do it.
No.
Rhett, age 6. When mom is mad at your dad, don't let her brush your hair. Selma, age 7. Never allow your 3-year-old brother in the same room as your science assignment. Felicity, age 11.
Oh, man.
That's bad.
Sorry, Felicity.
Yeah. Don't sneeze in front of your mom while eating crackers. Cameron, age 9. This is Marshall, age 10. Puppies still have bad breath even after you give them a whole thing of Tic Tacs. Let's see. Cats do not like the feeling of a dustbuster vacuuming their fur. Amir, age 8.
He's vacuuming that cat.
You can't hide a piece of broccoli in a glass of milk. Tiana, age 6.
Oh, man.
Don't wear polka dot underwear under white shorts. Callie, age 11.
Good advice.
If you want a puppy, start out by asking for a horse.
There you go.
Bolton, age 13.
He's a smart kid.
The art of the deal.
Yeah.
Let's see. Felt markers do not make for good lipstick. Lauren, age 9.
Not good lipstick replacements.
Don't call your sister names when she's holding a baseball bat. Joel, age 11.
These are all things from experience, I can
tell you, yeah. When you get a bad grade at school, show it to your mom while she's on the phone. Peyton, age 13.
That's good stuff.
Never try to baptize a cat, no matter how bad you want it to go to heaven. Aiden, age 8.
Oh, they do not like to get in the water.
Never write the words to the most popular song in America and then turn it in and tell your teacher you wrote it. Stiegel, age 11. If you're in trouble, cry. If that doesn't work, cry louder. Samantha, age 5.
There you go. She's manipulating already.
This one. Never trust a fart on spaghetti night after dinner. John Anthony, age 9. There's only one way he knows
he's
that.
He's going to remember that the rest of his life.
You should marry someone who likes pizza. Rando, age 11. If you do something dumb to keep from being embarrassed, just say, I meant to do that.
Yeah.
Frederico, age 9.
Yeah, I meant to do that.
When you get old, don't forget to buy new knees. Caroline, age 10.
Ooh, she knew.
I got mine on layaway right now.
Yeah, I'm making payments.
Never lick the freezer or the lamppost or anything metal in winter. Better yet, don't lick stuff. Braun, age 8.
Yeah, just quit licking stuff.
Don't lick stuff. That'd be better, yeah. If you don't like what mom made for supper, eat really slow. She'll get tired and give you cereal. Nathan, age 7.
Ooh, Nathan.
If someone tells you you can't do it, they're probably right. Do something else. Denver, age 9.
Can't do that, Denver.
Don't be friends with the kid who eats their boogers. They never have good snacks to trade. Montana, age 8. And money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy Nerf guns, which is basically the same thing. Austin, age 7.
That's some good stuff.
It is good.
Good.
I mean, like you said, most of that, they learned from experience.
Yeah.
They figured it out the hard way, unfortunately for them. Yeah. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer right after this.
Hell, there's hell everywhere I go. I'm just sticking with the devil I know. Mama says get my ass to church. Daddy says get my ass to work. Doctor says I gotta give up on these smokes.
Bad things happen, and of course, they never happen at the right time. Maybe it's just a little bump and cosmetic damage, or it's turned into a huge insurance claim and you just don't know where to go next. That's why so many of your neighbors and friends call on Cook's Body Shop in El Dorado. From the minor to the major, Cook's Body Shop is in your corner. Need someone to help you deal with insurance? Look to Cook's. Need advice on what to do next? Look to Cook's. Need a free estimate? Look to Cook's. Bad things are going to happen, and when they do, look to Cook's.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. And Boomer, this week we remember 9/11, and of course 24 years ago.
Yes, 24 years ago now.
And it's hard to even think about it in that
time
quarter
frame,
of a century.
It doesn't seem like that long.
Yeah. Where were you?
Well, the day that it happened, I had a sales job at the time. And I heard something on the radio, and Martha was still working for Denver Thornton, and I went there, and they had the TV on in his office, and we watched it, and we actually started praying right then. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time anything major like that had happened on our soil, and it scared the bejesus out of most people.
Yeah,
and it was a horrible experience that we went through, and everybody will remember the. From my generation, they'll remember the day that Kennedy got shot in Dallas, mm-hmm. and we'll certainly remember 9/11 in our memory. But the thing that impressed me the most about that particular instance in our community is that we all came together mm-hmm. and wound up at the football stadium at the Memorial Stadium and for a prayer, just for prayer. And it was organized, and we had people that were praying. And mm-hmm. That we were all together at that point. And it's just, it's a shame that it takes something like that to make us all be together. But we were at that time.
Yeah.
Where were you?
I was on the air. I was doing a morning show in Texas. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing was we always kept the TV on in the studio, muted, of course, mm-hmm. on Fox News.
So you could see what's coming up.
Just so we could see what's happening, For whatever reason, I think the night before we had done our coaches show or something, and the guy who ran the board for that, I think he had it on Comedy Network or something, and we came in, I turned TV on, I never even looked at it to see what it was on, but we took a break, and as soon as we took a break, my cell phone rang, and it was a friend of mine who owned a business there in that town, and he's like, "Hey man, did you see we're under attack?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Put it on the news channel, any channel, and I was like, "Okay." And so, like I said, we're in commercial break, and I flip over there, and we're looking at it, and we're seeing them show the first tower, and then just we watched it happen live. We watched the
I did
second
too.
plane hit the second tower.
Yeah, I saw that live.
And, up until that point, I was thinking, oh, wow, it was a
an
mistake.
accident.
It was an accident, something like that. But at that moment, then I realized, no, it's not an accident, And
Yeah, when you saw the second one plow into it.
And so then I like anyone else, I said, where's the president? What do we need to know? What are they going to tell us? And sure enough, shortly they cut to elementary school in Florida, where George W. Bush was there, and he, basically called it an attack, and then things changed quickly. So
They put him in the air.
yes, and they flew him to Barksdale,
yeah.
which was right there where we
Where
were.
you are, yeah.
And the girl who's my sales manager was having her babies in Shreveport that day. Name was Lori, and she ended up having twin girls on the day of the Twin Towers.
Isn't that something?
But yeah, of course, everything we did at that little station most everything was satellite fed, and our satellite started picking up a tick, and it would just be like the song would be going and tick, and then the song tick, and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm on the phone with our radio network asking them, and they're like, hey, look, it's the government, man. They are monitoring everything. And what you're hearing is a radar ping. And they said, as a matter of fact, part of our programming is piped through a satellite in New York, and we had to shut it off and reroute because obviously it can't work right now. And so yeah, I mean, everything changed dramatically
For everyone.
For everyone, it did. And
our lives changed that day.
I got a call from a very, very dear friend of mine who was a professor at LSU, and he belongs to a certain secret organization that I don't even think it has initials, but
You got a handshake, I bet.
probably. But their job is they're called into hot spots around the world to make troubles go away. And he called me and he said, man, I had to leave Baton Rouge. He said, I'm on my way back. He said, I have 24 hours to get to D.C. And I was like, dude, I don't know how you're going to make it. I mean, there's not...
Can't fly.
You can't fly. And he said, can you take me to Marshall, Texas, to the Amtrak platform? I said, sure. They pulled up with a train that had one car. He goes in down here to the roundabout, and they turn it around. He gets on it, and that's the last time I saw him for 9 years.
Wow.
They took him to D.C., and I don't know where all he went and what all he did after that.
What he fixed.
Yeah, I don't know what all he fixed, but since then I know some things, but I'm not going to say them on this podcast.
No. And business changed. I want to tell you the face of business changed at that point. Insurance changed. Banking changed.
Yes.
How you flew changed. It used to be a pleasure to fly. You could get on there, and there were some outfits you could get on, pick a seat.
Yeah.
And now
That ended.
because they want to know everybody on every seat, and you're checked. And I went through Denver, post that time, and it was horrible to get back on the plane to fly back to Little Rock. And just a lot of things changed in our lives.
Yeah, I flew to Washington, D.C., and it's like anywhere else in America, except everybody was standing around with machine guns. That was back during those threat level colors, and we were at threat level orange.
Yeah.
And walking through Reagan National there in D.C., and there's guys standing around with machine guns.
Should be. And you see that in other parts of the world. In London, you'll see that. At the airports, or surely in Israel, you see that.
Yeah.
They're on every corner.
I went to Cozumel, and Cozumel looks like just about any beach along the Gulf Coast, except for all the people standing around with machine guns. So,
Oh man.
But yeah, everything changed, and I think we as Americans we let a lot of things slide that I don't think we would let slide anymore. For example, the Patriot Act. I mean, you can't make me believe that 9/11 happened, and by September 15th we had this brand new legislation called the Patriot Act that no one had ever even thought about until 4 days ago, and then they wrote this 900-page piece of legislation that we passed without reading it, basically, and then we were all surprised at what was in it.
Yeah.
Kind of like the health care reform.
Sure. Let's get it over the fence, is what Pelosi said, and then we'll figure out what's in it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the Patriot Act had a lot of great things, and if I'm not here next week, y'all will know why.
Yeah.
I'm sure it had a lot of great things, but boy, there were a lot of things that have come out since that just aren't that great.
Well, we lost a lot of our liberties, and I'm
not sure we lost them as much. We just gave them away.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah, that we didn't realize it, but we gave it away, and the 1984 Big Brother is watching you.
Yeah, you better believe it. As we sit here with cell phones in front of us.
Yeah, I was watching a show last night on Netflix about homicides in New Orleans, and they tracked this guy that committed a murder in the French quarters, and they tracked his car on all the cameras from when he went, where he came. They said it's not so much important as where they went, is where they came from. So they tracked it with the cameras everywhere and knew the car that he was in and spotted him when he was parked there 2 hours before the homicide happened. And then they tracked him back on cameras back to where he was living. And then they took his cell phone. When they arrested him, his cell phone was in the car. And then they pinged all the cell phone, and it showed where he was. And they convicted him on that, on the cameras and his cell phone GPS locating everywhere he was. And we all do it. Now, I was getting notices here all the time about on my 360. So one of my kids left home, my daughter, there's my wife, 2 mile drive safely, and this, and there's Amy, she lives in another state, and my GPS tracks them and reports it back to me. So you think the government can't track you wherever you go?
That's right.
If I can do it through this little phone,
yeah,
they got drones that can tell you the color of your hair. And whether you got astigmatism in your eyes.
And I think that looking back, just like I made a TikTok a couple months ago and said, hey, Democrats, you got to get over the Russia thing.
Yeah.
It was a hoax.
Yeah, I saw that.
We realized now, most of us thought it then, but y'all called us conspiracy theorists, and election deniers,
election deniers,
and all kinds of things.
And we saw people printing off ballots in the middle of the night and finding new boxes.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
It doesn't matter.
But just like Democrats had to step back and say, okay, that one's on us, we had to do the same thing with Iraq.
Yes,
those of us on the who consider ourselves politically right.
Yeah, because there was.
There obviously was not weapons of mass destruction.
No, there wasn't.
Or if there were, our intelligence was so far behind that they'd been gone for years.
They hauled it off somewhere.
Yeah. And so, I think we allowed a lot of things to go on that after a 20-year war, we won't allow again.
Yeah. I had family go there, and I'm sure you had relatives or people that that went and lost their
we had
lives.
a good friend right here from El Dorado who went and lost his life.
Yeah, and he was with my son-in-law.
I know.
I
remember.
He was in the vehicle with my son-in-law, and he wanted to go out. He wanted to go out the wire, and he wasn't supposed to. He wanted to go on patrol with them, and it cost him his life that day.
Yeah, and and not only did we lose a good friend, but he was just a good citizen.
He was a good man.
And for those who, Wayne Culver.
Yeah.
And he was a lieutenant colonel or something.
Yes.
I mean, he way high up.
Yeah.
Rank was way high up. Before he had deployed, he had invited me to come speak on the Memorial Day. They had a big thing downtown and outside and asked me to be the keynote speaker. And it was a last minute thing. They were supposed to have a general so-and-so, but he couldn't make it. And so he called me and said, man, I have no one. And I was like, obviously, if you're calling me. And he said, can you just come give a few remarks? He said, I don't know what to do. And I was like, yeah, I will. And Boomer, I sat down, and in less than 5 minutes, I typed this little speech. And to this day, I guess it's my 15 minutes because it definitely went viral. I got a lot of press over it. And basically, it was just because at that time, President Obama had just come back from an apology tour all around the world.
Talking about how horrible we were.
Yeah, apologizing. And so
and Heil Hitler and kissing the rings of kings. And I didn't like that at all.
Let that little mudslide of a country dictator, Venezuela, stand there and just bash America and never said a word in return. But anyway, I said, if we feel like there's some apologies need to be made, let me start off with, I'm sorry that every time, freedom is challenged around the world, it's our 18-year-old kids who spill their blood on the sand of countries that neither appreciate nor even understand what freedom means. I'm sorry that it's America that has to go and push people back like Hitler. I'm sorry that it was America who stood up to the Soviet Empire when they were hell-bent on taking over the world and putting them behind a steel curtain. I'm sorry that our veterans came back from Vietnam, and instead of being celebrated, they were spit at and spit on over a war that they were not allowed to fight.
Yeah.
So if there's apologies need to be made, I'm sorry. And I'll never forget, I'm giving that speech, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through, and there's over in front of now what's Shelley's Shoes and the 1988 and all that, they had some bleachers. And this older gentleman stood up and took his hat off, and he just stood in a salute until I finished that. And that got me, man.
I remember
it got me.
I remember that.
Because, that guy had no business saluting me. I was just saying what we were all thinking.
He was saluting
the process, the words. Yeah. But yeah, and I mean, 9/11 changed everything. And, one of my daughter's friends had to graduate high school knowing her dad didn't get to see her at prom, didn't get to see her graduate, will never get to see her get married. He won't give her away. She won't walk down the aisle with her dad. He'll never meet any grandchildren. She lives with that every day because of the after effects of 9/11. And not just her. Thousands and thousands. Tens of thousands of kids all across America face that same thing. And so, yeah, 9/11 changed everything. It did. And maybe some of it was for the better. It's hard for me to find it.
We get biblical with it, and I have, and what was meant for evil, God can take that and use it for the good. And we see that in instances, and there are stories about that, I'm sure, that good happened out of that. But the tragedy of it is far outweighs.
I agree.
And sometimes, good things happen to bad people, or bad things happen to good people.
Yep.
And so
that's biblical. Rain falls on the just and the unjust, just alike.
Yeah, we live in a fallen world, and there's God hadn't taken His hand off of it. He gave man the ability to choose.
It is the greatest choice ever, which brings me to this.
Yeah.
If the greatest choice God ever gave you was the ability to choose, why would you ever choose to be negative?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't understand it either.
I know people who, they wake up every day, and that's as good as their day's going to get.
That's it.
From that point forward, they're pissed off. They're mad at the world. Everybody's out to get them. How do you live like that? I can't. My life is beyond that.
Martha and I talk about that all the time. Said, how do people get through life if they don't have faith in a higher being, whether it be God or whatever something besides what outside of yourself? All of this didn't just happen. It didn't happen. It was so it just happened. So where'd they get all the stuff that made it happen?
Right. Yeah.
You
of course,
can get circular on that, but there has to be something outside of what we know.
Well, there's a group of scientists who have traced back the origin of our beginning to the Big Bang.
Yeah.
Which I believe. I 100% believe in the Big Bang.
I do too.
These scientists said there are 4 sound waves that they have found that caused the Big Bang. They don't know what those sound waves were.
Yeah.
But let me just ask you this. Would it be feasible, possible, that could have been "Let there be light"? 4 sound waves caused the Big Bang.
Yeah.
And poof,
And it happened.
and it happened.
Let me tell you something else that's interesting. You can ask ChatGPT or any of the
AI.
AI ones, and how did man come to existence? And they'll give you that theory about we crawled out of the sludge. And
Yeah.
so if you ask it with some parameters, that since the Big Bang and the age of the Earth is approximately 4.5 billion years old, would it be possible for man to evolve from whatever we said it started with? Would it be possible? In AI, I'll say no, it's not possible. It's not enough time.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but if you just ask it, well, where did man come from? It'll give you that answer that it was just we evolved.
Monkeys.
Yeah. Why is there still monkeys?
Exactly. But let me ask you a question here, Boomer, because I don't think you and I have ever discussed this. Do you believe that there was a lot of stuff happened between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2? Because
Yeah.
I am of the belief that Genesis 1:1, in the beginning,
In the beginning.
and then Genesis 1:2, and the earth was void and without form. Mm-hmm. I think there was a lot that happened between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2.
Well, I do too.
And I'm not saying it was by mistake, because you can't have intelligent design by mistake. But I just think that there's a whole lot that happened in that era, that epoch, if you will, that happened in those areas. What's up, Donnie? How you doing, bud?
Oh, look at Arkansas cheerleader. There are those that are of the opinion that God created things with age. That he created that, and it's already 3 million years old when he created it. It doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. That's just like the people who say, well, do you believe Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene? I don't know. But does it change anything? I mean, honest to goodness,
Yeah.
Does it change the fact that he was born of a virgin, that he lived a sinless and perfect life, that he died on the cross for the sin of man, that he rose from the dead 3 days later, that he ascended to the right hand of the Father and is coming again one day? Does it change any of that if he was married?
Yeah. Does that make any difference?
I don't think so.
I don't think so
I can't
either.
imagine. Now,
I don't think so either.
Now, I'll say this. It makes him even that much more divine if he can be married and sin not.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something.
Because a woman's going to make you sin.
Whoo, ask Adam. Ask me.
Well, and my wife says when she gets to heaven, she wants to see Jesus and wants to see the face of God, and says, then I'm going to go look for Eve because I'm a bitch slap her. That's what Fro said. Oh, and our former pastor thought that was so funny. And she would say stuff, and I said, Martha, that's the pastor right there. She goes, I don't care. So I'm still going to slap her.
So, I have, there are Bible scholars who believe that the book of Job was actually written between, well, the accounts
It
thereof.
wasn't chronological.
The
like it
accounts
is.
happened between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2.
Yeah.
Just because of some of the things that are described therein. Leviathan, a dragon basically who lurks in the water, and kind of like a crocodile that could fly and kind of stuff like that. I mean, it just the kind of things it described.
Were prehistoric.
Yes, yeah. And so,
Except for, it wasn't prehistoric except for Job. It was prehistoric.
But even if that's the case, how much more awesome and divinely inspired is the book of Job when he said, I know my Redeemer liveth. To me, that's the whole book of Job is so fun. And boy, we got religious here quick.
Yeah.
The whole book of Job is great because all these bad things are happening to Job. I mean, everything bad. Except God took everything but his wife. What does that tell you?
And he's like Paul was, said, do what you want to do. He says, it's all about Christ. Everything's about Christ. And Job was of the same mindset. He said, his friends came and, he's scraping off balls with a rock, and it's horrible things. His kids are all died. All his animals were killed, and everything. He lost everything.
Yeah.
And, it was at the permission of God. And Satan did all that. And God said, you see, Job, you can take away everything from a man, but if he has God and knows the love of the Father in him, It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Because all that's temporal.
That's right. And that's that. The whole book of Job. I know my Redeemer lives.
That's
I may
great.
be going through this right now, but anyway,
That's good stuff.
it is good stuff. But
That'll preach.
it will every now and then, and it'll fill the offering plate. But all that to be said, we were just taking a moment to remember 9/11.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
the
We got way
horrible
afield.
tragedy that took place that day. I don't know that we'll ever know 100% of everything, the truth of that.
Yeah.
of
There's
that.
all kind of conspiracy.
There's tons of them,
And I still maybe I don't understand, but I don't see how flying a plane into a giant skyscraper can make it all fall down.
I do.
just didn't. Huh?
I do.
You know how it happens?
Yeah, if you've ever been on top of one, you know. And you know me, Boomer. I am about feet on the ground, okay? I am scared to death of heights. I do not ever want to be that far off the ground, but I have been.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you, when you're up there and you can
Feel the building
feel that
moving.
sway. I've been up just a couple hundred feet on radio towers, and let me just tell you something.
They move.
They move a lot. And those aren't windsocks. Those are pretty aerodynamic.
Yeah.
Radio towers are. And you got a skyscraper.
You think it just melted the structure enough?
I
to,
think
top
it only
pushed
takes a
down.
minimal amount of weakness in any portion of that structure, of the spine of that structure,
get it to fail.
And then once it starts coming down, it's just the sheer
Oh
weight.
yeah,
you know.
the weight of the the burden of the top.
But there are people who believe that it was a
was
controlled
explosions,
explosion, and then whatever. Have at it. I mean, it doesn't change the fact that those people died. And if that were the case, know this: there comes a judgment. There comes a time when you must give account for deeds done in the body, whether they be good or whether they be evil. And so those people will have to answer for that.
That's a horrible day for a lot of people, the day of the Lord, and that's going to happen. But for those that are in Christ and have followed Him and has believed in Him, we're looking forward to someone saying, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." Now, Troy, you're going to have to answer for this. You're going to have to answer for that, and I'm prepared. There's some things I'm going to have to answer for. I've asked for forgiveness for them.
The good news is we have an advocate.
Yeah.
There is an advocate who stands for us. And while we may have to stand there and see all these accounts of horrible things we've done in our life, at the end, there is an advocate.
Yeah.
And at the end, they will open the book of life to see if your name's written inside. And if it is, you'll enter in.
I'm glad I'm into bees. They don't have to flip over. If they don't go by Troy.
Yeah.
What's your last name, son?
Yeah. So, all right. Let's move on. How about a Florida man?
I'm always for Florida man stories.
Deputies in Marion County, Florida, said they've seen it all, but Saturday night proved otherwise when a burglary suspect was found nude, perched in a tree, and attempting to pass himself off as a monkey. Deputies were alerted by a home alarm company to a glass breakage and potential home invasion in the affluent Weston Springs area of Marion County, Florida. Deputies arrived and were met by neighbors who said the homeowners were away, but they were hearing strange noises coming from the home. Authorities entered the backyard when one deputy was hit by a partially eaten orange. The silence was broken when a man completely nude come running out of an open patio door, screeching like a monkey. Deputies gave chase only to watch the man successfully scale up to about 25 feet in the top of a tree and stop.
Naked.
Maybe
he was a monkey.
According to the incident report, 34-year-old Travis McConnell was completely unclothed, covered in mud, and insisting he was just a monkey looking for bananas. At one point, he allegedly attempted to swing from one branch to another, but managed only to fall directly onto the roof of the home. Neighbors told deputies McConnell lived with his parents a few doors down, and they had seen him earlier in the day practicing monkey calls in his driveway and rubbing himself with sunscreen for camouflage. One witness claimed he asked Travis if he was okay, and Travis shouted back, "I don't know who you think you see, but I'm not moving. You can't see me."
Ooh, Travis.
McConnell was taken into custody after deputies deployed at least 2 tasers into him. He faces charges of burglary, resisting arrest, and indecent exposure. The sheriff's office noted in their press release, while Mr. McConnell is not, in fact, a monkey, he will have plenty of time to reflect on his choices.
I'm the monkey man.
At the county jail.
You can't see me. I'm a monkey man.
Can't see me. Monkey man bruise on the inside. Don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah. You don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, when we come back, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Trump makes people mad enough to pee.
Okay.
All right. That's coming up right after this on more of Off the Back Porch.
Hitting a buck to hang on the wall rarely happens by accident. It starts with preparation, takes some skill, and often even a little luck. Country Village Sporting Goods is your headquarters for all three. Right now, check out a brand new shipment of feeders, so new that they're still pulling them out of the boxes. A huge selection of lacrosse boots and plenty of warm weather camo for that early season hunt. And of course, bow hunters can't go wrong with the sales and service at Country Village Sporting Goods, 965 Smackover Highway in El Dorado.
As the summer growing season begins to slow down, you can still find plenty of homegrown fruits and vegetables at Davis Farms Country Market. Plus, a new shipment of baked goods just hit the shelf. And if you've ever wanted to know the difference between the meat from the big chain stores and locally grown Davis Double D Farms beef, you have to check it out. You'll be amazed, and you may never buy grocery store beef again. All of this and more at Davis Farms Country Market, 4523 Junction City Highway, or call 870-639-1323.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. Boomer, I love it. Every week we are here at our favorite place, Main Street Pizza.
Main Street Pizza. Donnie, and all his staff is so gracious to let us come in and just in the afternoon take over a couple of tables for a little while, and they serve us some pizza and give us a drink, and
Yeah.
and it's a good pizza, and there's some more of it, and I may eat some more. But I want to tell you, the consistency of pizza at Main Street Pizza is what I like.
I'm with you.
And there's a guy that I like for him to make my pizza, but other people make pizza that tastes just as good. But it's consistent, and it's it's a kind of a atmospheric place that you like to come to.
Yes, it is.
Good atmosphere.
And but even so my kids know on podcast day, the day I'm coming home with pizza.
That you'll have some pizza.
And so they look forward to it every week.
So we don't need to eat that other half, is what you tell me.
No, I'll order some more pizza before I leave.
Oh, okay.
And,
you'll pay for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, my kids they look forward to it because they love Main Street.
Yeah.
And I'm like you, consistency. That's what I want. Because see, my thing is once I find a pizza I like,
Yeah.
that's what I want.
I want it all the time like
I
that.
don't want it, and there was a time where my family and I, we were displaced from our home for 53 weeks after
Water damage.
Yeah, water damage. And so we were getting pizza at different places. And there's one place, and I won't say the name of it, but I learned you have to tell them to run it through that oven twice.
Okay.
Because
get
otherwise
enough.
it just didn't taste like it was done to me.
Uh-huh.
And so it got to the point to where I would pass 4 pizza places just to come here
Sure.
to pick up pizza. So, Boomer, before we went to the break, I told you, evidently Donald Trump is more dangerous than we realized.
Is he?
Yeah, obviously. This headline, President Trump makes woman mad enough to pee and bite.
Pee and bite?
Yeah. Sunday morning services at West First Church. And it was somewhere in California. I must not have written that down. West First Church took an unusual turn when police were called to remove a woman who, according to witnesses, attempted to fight Republicans with teeth and pee. Deputies say 41-year-old Cynthia Ramirez showed up in the church parking lot carrying a protest sign that said, "No Trump in heaven." When worshipers tried to enter the building, she allegedly blocked the doors, shouting that she could smell Republicans from a mile away. When asked to leave, witnesses say she became more creative with her tactics. She dropped into a squat and peed through her clothes onto the church entryway.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, one church member reported. Another claims she lunged at several attendees with clear intent to bite, though she only managed to nip one man's Bible before officers intervened. Police say Ramirez was taken into custody after a brief chase across the church lawn, during which she continued shouting, "Jesus never voted red."
My word. She's really
Yeah.
all in for her cause.
Officers noted that she was extremely agitated, mildly hydrated, and determined to make her point in the strangest way possible. She now faces charges of disorderly conduct, assault, urinating in public, which, according to deputies, is not a protected form of free speech in California, no matter how much you dislike Donald Trump.
She was mildly hydrated.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I'm asking.
I'm
I'll
assuming
have to look that up.
I'm assuming it meant
She had enough in her.
she had been partaking
Yeah, that's what I thought.
some adult libations,
Yep.
inebriation.
Inebriation.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So, how about this, Boomer? Times Square was brought to a standstill last Thursday afternoon after a man climbed atop a Midtown office building and threatened to jump, distraught that every invention he'd ever dreamed up was already patented by lesser minds.
Okay.
The man, identified as 47-year-old aspiring inventor Gerald Finkel, shouted at passersby below while clutching a thick binder labeled "Genius Ideas Do Not Steal."
Okay. Yeah, leave them alone. Don't be looking at my folder.
According to New York City authorities, Finkel's binder included things he described as a, quote, now listen to this, portable grid-based crispification device.
Say that again?
Portable grid-based crispification device. Included detailed engineering sketches and a description that read, rendering bread into golden squares of divinity. Unfortunately for Mr. Finkel, the Waffle Maker already exists.
That's what his was, a waffle maker.
Another item included a self-heated garment flattening apparatus.
That's an iron.
With an ergonomic handle and flat heat-conductive surface that obliterates wrinkles from trousers with efficiency.
Yeah.
And, of course,
That's an iron.
clothes iron already exists and was patented many years ago.
Yeah.
Other inventions included a recreational elastic surface for repetitive vertical excursions.
What?
A recreational elastic surface for repetitive vertical excursions.
A trampoline.
Yes. Detectives say the sketch looked identical to a trampoline. Another item in the binder was a containment palace for canines, explaining it was a modular domicile complete with breathable apertures and a chew-resistant framework.
A dog pen.
A dog kennel, yeah.
Yeah.
It,
Okay. That's a neat way of saying it. He has a good way of explaining
a reporter at the press conference afterwards said, bruh, isn't that just a dog kennel?
it. Bruh. Yeah.
Negotiators distracted Finkel long enough that a member of the New York City hostage rescue team was able to rappel down from a floor above and tackle him inside the window. Finkel was then taken for evaluation.
Sure.
According to Mr. Finkel's family, he's always had these thoughts of impending doom because every new invention was something he said he had thought of first. Mr. Finkel's sister, who spoke on a condition of anonymity, said when they were children, he had to be hospitalized for depression when his parents bought him a Rubik's Cube, and he swore that he had already invented one.
Boy.
Delusions.
He has got some things going on with him.
And you want to know what else, Boomer?
What?
I bet he votes.
I'm sure he does.
Sure he does.
I'm sure he does every chance he gets, as
Yeah.
often as he can.
Yeah. So.
Oh, man, he's got several personalities, I'm sure.
Oh, easily.
And each one of them gets to vote. You see, that's what happens. You voted already. No, that was me. That was me yesterday. I'm not yesterday me. I'm me today. The inventor of things.
Hey, listen, don't make fun of those. Don't make fun of those people who vote early and often.
Yeah.
I've won lots of elections using them. Going in the graveyard, looking at fresh gravestones and writing down names. No, I never did that.
No, indeed.
I hired people to do it, but I never did it. So,
I got a bag of money.
yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we have more of Off the Back Porch right after this.
Did you know that if your home air conditioning unit is already running and you turn the thermostat down to try to make it cooler in the house, you could be doing more harm than good? This is why you call Dyson Service Company the experts of home comfort solutions. That's another way of saying Dyson Service Company helps make your home a place of comfort and relaxation. Call Dyson Service Company today, 862-0409.
Everybody loves a parade, and Hilarious Pizza throws parades all week long. Bring the family in for your favorites, or explore the variety that Hilarious Pizza offers. Come join us at Hilarious Pizza for the greatest parade ever.
For nearly 50 years, South Arkansas floors have been covered by El Dorado Custom Carpets. And not just carpets, but true hardwood, laminate, stone, porcelain, ceramic, marble, and more. And guess what? It doesn't end with just floors. El Dorado Custom Carpets carries a tremendous selection of backsplash, wall tile, and area rugs. The truth of the matter is, one commercial can't come close to telling you everything you can find at El Dorado Custom Carpets, 1601 East Main Street in El Dorado. Call 870-862-4945.
Hey, welcome back for more of Off the Back Porch with Sandy and Boomer. And Boomer, very unlikely for us to ever have breaking news.
Yes.
And this won't be by the time.
It won't be breaking by the time this airs.
The podcast. But as of right now,
Yes.
it is breaking news that conservative activist Charlie Kirk
Yes.
has been shot.
Yes, and is in critical condition
in
Utah.
In Utah. He was speaking at a university there, and evidently someone shot him. And of course, Charlie Kirk, for those of you who know, I mean, you know who he is. Those of you who don't, he's a conservative political activist. If you have Facebook Reels or Instagram or TikTok or just about any of the social
YouTube.
medias, you've seen him. He dropped out of college. He's a college dropout.
He's a college dropout.
And very, very committed to his faith.
He is.
And but he is the CEO of Turning Point USA, which actually began in 2012, I believe. He was the founder of Turning Point, and at that time it was a student organization, just to give conservative students a place to discuss ideas on college campuses.
Coalesce in campuses.
And but you would think, of all places, in Utah, he would be the last place he would be in danger of being shot.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought this. It seems that it would be a conservative part of the country, but
still, Charlie Kirk, like I said, last information we had, and again, by the time this comes out, I'm sure that information will be changed, either for the better or the worse.
Sure.
But that he is in critical condition. As we currently have found out. And
well, you can't oppose someone enough, or you shouldn't oppose someone enough that you want to shoot them.
Right.
That you want to take their voice away. And he's been a voice for the good at a lot of places and speaks out and lets people.
He lets people just talk smack to him, man.
Yeah, and he listens to it, and but then he's good about refuting everything they say, and he can turn it around on them. And all the ABC groups just really hate him.
Yeah, they do. They do. And you know what? I mean, I think it's ironic that a guy who dropped out of college goes to college campuses.
Yeah.
And I've heard them try to take him to task before about how dare you come to a college campus when you dropped out of college. And he's like,
what do you know?
And he's like, so, one of his things is, okay, even though I've never played a day in the major leagues, I can't have an opinion on a Major League Baseball team, and I can't voice that opinion at the stadium.
Yeah.
Even though I've never stepped foot on a field. But
exactly.
Now here was a surprise to me. I don't guess I realized how young Charlie Kirk is. He is 31 years old.
Young. That makes
I have a child that age.
That what makes what he did over a decade ago. He was real young. So,
yes. Yeah. So I mean, basically, he graduated high school, started college, and dropped out, and started Turning Point.
Yeah.
And now he has subscribers. I think I read 3.84 million subscribers, over 1.6 billion views. Of his reels and his podcast and all those things. And anyway, thoughts to Charlie Kirk and his spouse and his wife, and hopefully he comes through this okay.
Sure.
And I'm sure he'll have plenty of stories to tell after this.
I'm sure he will.
But let's talk about some stuff that's going on in South Arkansas.
Right.
So South Arkansas Arts Center has brought back Corks and Canvas. The September edition is called Hoot Owl Harvest, led by Rhonda Hicks. It'll take place on Thursday, September the 18th at 6 p.m. at the South Arkansas Arts Center. In this fun, beginner-friendly session, participants will paint an 8x10 acrylic fall landscape featuring a whimsical hoot owl perched on a tree branch, pile of colorful leaves, and a trusty yard broom. And the Corks and Canvas series is designed for adults of all skill levels to unwind, get creative, and enjoy a casual night of painting with friends. All art supplies are provided, and participants are encouraged to bring their favorite beverage to sip while they
Bring
paint.
your own corks.
And spots are limited to 8 participants, so early registration is encouraged. Cost is $40 per person. And for more information, you can call the Art Center at 862-5474.
Good deal. That's a good thing. That a lot of people enjoy that.
They do. The next business after hours is going to be at the El Dorado Municipal Auditorium and will be hosted by South Arkansas Symphony Orchestra.
Okay.
That's going to be Tuesday, September the 23rd from 5:30 until 6:30.
Is the orchestra going to play? Be there? Or?
I'm guessing they're going to be there. I don't know if they're going to play or not, but that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Let's see. The 32nd annual First Financial Bank Share Golf Tournament set for September 27th and 28th.
Yeah.
2 courses over 2 days. For more information and to register, if there's any registration still available.
Yeah, it may be filled up already.
ShareFoundation.com.
Yes. Great tournament. Been going on 30-something years
Yeah,
now.
32 or 33, but this is the 32nd annual. This Saturday, the 13th, the 1988 bookstore is celebrating their first birthday.
Okay.
The celebration is from 10 till 4, features store-wide 20% discounts and discounts at 4 Points Coffee. Again, that's at the 1988 bookstore downtown on the square in El Dorado. And then here's one of my favorites. Chris Loggins.
Yeah.
Our friend Chris Loggins will be live at the Minkai in downtown El Dorado this Friday night beginning at 9 p.m.
Gosh, I'll have my gown on by then.
I know you will. I know you will.
But I love Chris Loggins.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
You know, we hired him one time.
Yeah, he came and played at our
Played
party.
a Christmas party one time. And then I tried to hire him for my wife's birthday party. And he was like, "Oh man, I'm tied up on that day. I can't," you know. And so it was fine, but I thought it would have been cool if he'd have been there and playing and singing.
And we tried, you know, we brought our guitars, tried to play along with him after had a little session. He kind of looked at us like, I can't do what y'all do, and y'all not doing it right or something.
Yeah,
he's so far above us.
He is. He certainly is. And, you know, of course, I mean, an amputee toddler is beyond me when it comes to guitar playing. Okay, but
I'm just a strummer.
You know,
if it's in G or D, I'm good.
I'm not even that. And the bad part was I was really starting to learn. Poor boy was teaching me to play
the bass.
Well, he taught me to play bass.
Yeah,
I can still play bass, but I could not. He was teaching me to play 6-string, and then I cut this finger off. And they sewed it back on, and you can't see it from there, but it
doesn't
boogered
work
up.
right.
It does not work right.
And you need that finger a whole bunch.
A whole bunch.
And you need this one, and these two also.
Yeah, and the other thing is my fingers, they ain't long enough.
Well, I got a little short, stubby fingers too, and I just cram them all in there.
But I've seen you, man. You know, just like that whole making a bar with your with your
bar cards. You got to learn that.
Yeah, I can't do any of that. But I've seen you do it.
Yeah, that's tough to do. I mean, as a beginner, you're learning it. That's tough to do.
Boomer was at my house one time. I told him, bring your guitar. So he and Farouk come over, and he had his guitar out, and I was like, play Peaceful, Easy Feeling. And he looked at me like, that's not just a song you just start playing. You know, that's not just a. So he kind of strummed around for a second. Okay, I think I got it. And then we sat out on the porch and sang Peaceful, Easy Feeling. And
I like the way your sparkling earrings lay.
Yep. Against your skin so brown. Yeah.
That's enough right there.
That, man, what a great song. And
you know, when I smell copper tone, I think of summer in high school and girls in bikinis is what I think of anytime I smell copper tone.
Yeah. It's well, that's because you got invited to places with girls with bikinis. I didn't.
No, I had the boat.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Daddy had a boat.
Yeah, I was working. So,
well, I worked too, but you know, that's Sunday afternoon sometime.
Yeah. No, I wasn't invited to those either. No, we, you know, it was learning to play. I like I said, I was coming along. I'd learned some progressions. I'd learned a little this and a little that, and I still have my 6-string, and I still like to pluck around on it. And about the only songs I know, again, they have to be in G, C, and D. I mean, I can't, you know, even play an F is
tough.
Is tough for me. But if it's G, C, and D, I can pretty much play it. So if I can translate that song to the key of G, I'm good to go. So about only the songs I can do, just about any sad Vern Gosdin song.
Yeah.
I can do that. Written in Stone, you know, all those sad. Do You Believe Me Now?
Well, most of them are easy chords in most songs, even rock and roll songs, will most likely have just 4 chords. And chords. I've always said cards. You said cards. Cards or cards. They're both the same word for Cajuns. But yeah, you can play most rock songs. You can play with 4 chords.
Yeah. The thing to me is when it gets to us, you know, like I keep wanting to play Don Williams, I Believe in You. But the problem is it goes into a B major flat minor suspended D, or I don't know. It's some weird chords it goes into, and I'm like,
don't know that.
I can't do any
whatever
of that.
They are. If it says G sus flat 7, just play a G.
Yeah,
I mean, because G's in it too. You know, they just got some other. They put some other.
That's
notes.
for the harmony.
They they leave that for the harmony players.
Yeah. So that on the bass is especially what you do. You know,
you're just playing the bass.
You're just playing the main chords. You know,
the fruit.
Now I can still play bass without having to watch.
You and I picked a little bit over in center. You played the bass and preached, and I played the guitar and led the singing.
Yeah, that was fun.
Did we take a collection that night?
We didn't. They did, and they.
We didn't get none of that.
Yeah, we did.
Did I get some of it? Mm-hmm. I don't remember that.
I'm sorry.
There's a lot of stuff I don't remember.
I'm sorry you don't remember, because I remember it was a very nice collection. And when I told you what it was, and you were like, wow. And I said, I'm going to split it with you. You said, no, you ain't got to split it. And I was like, oh, I know I did most of the work, but
I drove here and I preached. And
I did most of the work, but yeah, I'm going to split it with you anyway.
Hey, we got time for one more little story.
Oh, we got all the time in the world.
Years ago, I back when people used to do revivals, they'd have most churches would do a spring revival or a fall revival, and it'd be a week. They'd go Sunday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Or, they'd start Sunday morning and go through Friday night
Yeah,
or
at least
something
Friday
like
night,
that.
yeah.
So a friend of mine was preaching, and he was a fill-in preacher and traveled a lot. He said, come lead the singing with me. And it was a piece from here. You went to this little town, and then you went outside of that little town to just a crossroads over here. Well, we took his truck the whole week, and, it's like 75 miles there. And so we made 6 or 7 trips in his truck, 75 miles back and forth. Guess what they gave us for that week?
$100?
$75. I said, Steve, brother, you go ahead and keep that. I said, that'll take about 1 tank of gas, since you used about 4. He said, you know what? Said, struggling little church. I said, yeah, but there was about 30 people there. I said, for them to only get $75. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, and then when I was in Oklahoma, I was very young then, the pastor of my church was doing a revival at this little church, and he said, Troy, come and lead the singing with me. So I did, and I went every night with him, and we got to the end of it, and they gave us $400 each. And he told me before we went that last night, he says, listen, brother, he said, a little struggling church, and the pastors, they paying them in chickens and milk, and I'm just going to give my money back to the pastor. He said, I would encourage you too. I said, if you'd have told me that up front.
Yeah.
So I gave my money back to the pastor as well. And so that was two, now all the ones that happened good like that, you don't remember, but you remember those bad things.
Yeah. Well, having spent 13 years on the evangelistic field, I've got a ton of those stories.
I'm sure you do.
Including one where I drove 500 miles to preach at this church. And when all was said and done, I got a pat on the back.
Thank you, brother.
And come back sometime.
Thank you for coming, brother.
I had to call home, borrow money to get home.
Oh, my.
I had to call my grandmother back home.
I heard a story about a singing group that would go to this church, and it's the professional singing group, and they'd go to this church every year, and they'd come around and they'd get the the collection, and preacher take it to the back, so they're going to take it and collect it and count it out for you. And so he told the preacher, said, preacher, you know what? This time, said, you just leave it right there. Whatever the people, you don't have to add or any to that. Whatever the people give, that's what we'll take for coming. And it was more than they'd ever gotten before. Yeah. Well, they never got invited back.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I talk about that church where I drove 500 miles, and they gave me a pat on the back, which was fine. I mean, like I said, I did have to borrow money to get home.
They needed it more than you, obviously.
But 2 weeks later, I preached at a church that was less than a mile from my house. One service, just a Sunday night service. And I remember they gave me $1,300. A few weeks later, I preached at another church. It was 20-something miles from my house. One service, Wednesday night, over $1,700. And this was back in the 90s. It's
when money was money.
Yeah. And but also did a whole bunch of those. I traveled to the other side of Fort Worth and preached at a church. And when all was said and done, I think they gave me a check for $125.
I did one down towards Monroe. About 45 minutes from here, and did 2 services Sunday, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and going back and forth every time, and they did a pretty good job. They what they gave me, and it's just you get some churches and some have the attitude that we're going to be very generous, and others aren't. So
that's true.
Just the way it is.
With a name you trust, you can count on us. Glen Mechanical, plumbing, heating, and air.
over 6 decades, Glenn Mechanical has been specializing in HVAC, plumbing, and all mechanical jobs. 3 generations family-owned and operated since 1956. Glenn Mechanical's business is based on relationships. They support and give back to the communities they work in. Contact them for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and mechanical needs. GlennMechanical.com.
Derek Henry.
Hey, Jake from State Farm. I saved so much bundling, it inspired my workout. Auto! Home!
Okay. And this is auto again, right?
Auto!
Hey, this is my living room.
Home!
Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan.
The dog isn't allowed on the couch, Derek.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's the one golf tournament everyone circles on their calendar. Serious and casual golfers alike love to play in the 32nd Annual First Financial Bank Share Golf Tournament, September 27th and 28th. 2 courses over 2 days. The Lions Club Municipal Course and the award-winning Mystic Creek Golf Course. Registrations are open now and a number of sponsorships are still available. Proceeds from the tournament benefit the South Arkansas Regional Hospital Foundation. For more information on the 32nd Annual First Financial Bank Share Golf Tournament or to register online, go to sharefoundation.com. You've waited all year. Don't miss it.